part 1 of the Hookmen races here in London is now done, and all we have to do now is race them over again 2 more times, and then I think afterwards we should be able to get on with racing them again. And Kareem is turning off. Okay. I basically had to coast there because if I didn't, then obviously I would have lost him. Fortunately, however, this is not the case this time around. And he's turning off again as I'm going into the fence there, but either way, doesn't matter because I am slowly behind him as we're going through Trafalgar Square. And heading up to the start line now. Shouldn't be too far from here. I'm also pretty sure the Royal Mile is somewhere just past Trafalgar Square if I'm not mistaken. And there we go. Another day, another chump. Let's see if you can step up to the challenge. I'm pretty sure I will step up to the challenge. Okay, so got a few frame drops, but not as many as when I had this thing on charge in my previous attempt of recording this. Obviously the frames would have been much lower had I kept this thing on charge. But either way, let's get this race over with. So, it's basically a full loop around London, and I know precisely which way to go from here.
Boy, don't make me mad. You wouldn't want that.
You know, I'm basically livid right now, because on my previous attempt, I was leading quite comfortably until once I got on to the A40. Basically, what happened there was, after I hit the median, it basically glitched me out and just basically took me off the road completely and put me in an area that was probably going to take me at least 30 seconds to get out of. I'm really starting to believe there might be a curse on this thing, because it just seems to keep cursing me every time I'm leading, and that's kind of what I think these streets are doing to me right now. But either way, I've not given up, hoping that sooner or later I can manage to somehow win this.
At least you were ahead for a while.
I think it's going to come down purely to luck. At this stage, as in it's really going to come down to luck, depending whether or not I can actually do this. Okay, don't choke, don't choke, don't choke, don't choke, don't choke, don't choke, don't choke. Please don't choke. Oh, yes! 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 Finally. Oh, what do you know? The homeboys finished in numerical order. Also, I am so relieved that I eventually won that. That race felt like a fucking bat out of hell, is what it did. But somehow, I narrowly edged out Kareem to the line, after discovering that basically choosing the right-hand side was effectively the preferable part of the loop to go with. And to be completely honest, I am greatly relieved to say that I did manage to win out at the end of the day. Even though both myself and Kareem basically wrecked when we were going in opposite directions, and ultimately, whilst both of us basically flipped our cars over, he ultimately must have got the worst end of the stick. And even though I did collide with a taxi right at the end, just before the finish line, I was able to somehow get the job done. And yes, I can confidently say, this car, when you get on the gas, even when you're in the highest gear, this car does have a nasty habit of weaving. Yeah, it wasn't really anything I could have done there to control it, but eventually I did manage to get it back. And coming from me personally, driving a car... Oh, I just saw the interior of the bus. Interesting. And coming from someone who knows about what it's probably like to drive a car without power steering, that's basically what this car felt like when I was going in at speed. Anyways. Replay is recorded, so let's now dial up Kareem for his second car and see how fucking long this takes.
Well, you beat me in New York, but London is my kind of town.
And to be completely honest, I actually hate this car. Because of how belligerently twitchy it is when you get on the gas and you're weaving side to side. It's basically as if you're trying to tame a rattlesnake. That just keeps fighting back.
Sorry, my friend, but you don't seem to be much of a challenge.
And that's kind of what this feels like. Hey guys, did I mention I actually hate driving this car? Because of its handling characteristics?
What do you think you're doing?
I'm trying to win this race, bitch.
Not bad, but we'll see when we race properly.
And also somehow get this car under control. Eventually.
At least you were ahead for a while.
I'm still ahead. For now. Oh, okay. Oh, shit, okay. I did not think I was still going to be ahead somehow. Doesn't matter. Get fucked.
How the hell did you do that?
Honestly, mate, I'm about as shocked as you. I also won this race by 4 seconds. Okay, so definitely not as hard as the Waypoint race was, in my opinion. But still, I can definitely say this car certainly gave me a good thrashing. And now we switch over to Kareem's second car, the Phoenix DDX. And as for the colour, well... Oh, that's not what I wanted. Actually, you know what? I don't think I've driven a car in grey up to this point in the game. Yeah, I'll drive this thing in grey, just because I want to. And I am now already 31 minutes into this segment at the time of recording this. I'd also like to say the Modicum XSV, even though it's a good handling car, it's definitely not a friendly car, in my opinion. But anyway, we have Kareem's second car, and now we have to get after Emily's second car. Coming up next...